first day was all travel. So that was Friday, July 25th, 2025. And we started off the day in Detroit Metro Airport. We had a 7 a.m. flight, and that took us to Seattle. And then we had, it was like a little over 3-hour layover in Seattle. And then we got on our next leg of the trip, which took us from Seattle to Fairbanks, Alaska. And that was, I'm trying to think how long that flight was, maybe 4 to 5 hours. It was 3 p.m. Alaska time, which was like feeling more like 7 p.m. Michigan time, Eastern Standard Time. We are currently staying at the Princess Riverside, I think it's Riverside Lodge. We've been staying here, this will be, we'll stay here 3 nights, and we've done 2 nights so far, and then tonight will be our 3rd night, and then we're gonna head off to Denali. So went into downtown Fairbanks, which is interesting. It's a small little town. I don't want to judge or anything like that, but definitely a fair amount, like down by the river. We were walking and we were like, oh, there's quite a bit of homeless people here and stuff. Eclectic, different, a variety of shopping, but not a huge amount of shopping. So if you're expecting a lot of touristy restaurants and shopping in downtown Fairbanks, Alaska's rustic. It's just not here. But we did enjoy exploring and seeing the river down there. We did head over to Pioneer Park and walked around there. So it's a nice exploring and everything. We had a jam-packed day in, and we were able to take advantage of a huge excursion. The first part of the excursion was at Gold Dredge 8, and we hopped on a train and learned all about gold mining in Alaska, learning how to pan for gold. We even had our opportunity, and all of us were able to pan for gold and find some flakes in there too as well. So we had a good amount that we found. So that was a lot of fun. I put mine into a charm, so I'll just show that later. I do have a picture. And then once we were done with the gold mining portion of that, we hopped back on a motor coach, and then it took us over to the riverboat Discovery, where we rode on a stern wheeler with a big paddle wheel on the back of it. That was like a 3-hour cruise for that. And you learned all about Alaska history, stopped at the Chena Village, learned about the culture of the Athabascan villagers. Hopefully I got the name right. Oh my God, that was really interesting. And from there, we also, there was a bush pilot that flew in, talked a little bit about the history of bush pilots. That was really cool to watch him land right near the stern wheeler and then take off from there. And then we also stopped by a dog sled area too as well, learned a little bit about dog sledding and got to see the training of the dog sled, so that was super cool too as well. I think that covered everything. It was like jam-packed. It was a really fun day. Like everything you could possibly think of was covered in that journey. So it was just a fun day. And then we came back to the lodge and had dinner, and then just relaxed and everything. Still kind of getting used to the time change. Still kind of going to bed a little bit earlier than normal and getting up really early. And we hopped on a motor coach, 3-hour drive from the lodge from Fairbanks to Denali. The lodge here in Denali is really cute. Princess has it set up. There's like multiple buildings, lots of shops, a few restaurants. They're a little bit smaller than what we had at Fairbanks. But we arrived, we got here a little before 1 and walked all over, checked out the place. It's been drizzling for most of the day, on and off, but not bad. Like, we're still able to walk around without a problem. So after lunch, we decided we'd head back to the lodge. Did pop into a few of the gift shops, walked around the lodge a little bit, the check-in area. They said they had like some shuttle schedules too, so they run shuttles often from Princess to take you to a few different spots. So we hopped on that, and that took you over to like the visitor center, and then you had to hop on yet another bus, and then that took you over to this dog show, which was like 30 minutes. It was cute. It was put on by, the park, and one of the rangers went over the whole how Denali National Park actually has a sled dog team, and what the dogs do and the purpose was it behind it. And it was started way back in the day, like before World War II, I think. And the ranger had said, in order to do his job, he really needed a team. And he was referring more to like a dog sled team, just, the power behind the dogs. So anyway, so they put on a cute show. They have quite a few dogs in the dog sled team. And so we were able to watch them a little bit and check out the show. It's only 30 minutes. And then we hopped back on a shuttle, and that took us back to the resort. And again, we walked around, checked out the shops. We ended up finding a restaurant called the Public House, which I think might have been part of like Holland America's resort. We're doing everything, we were walking around, so then we had to walk back from that. That was a little bit of a challenge because it's very hilly, it's very mountainy over here. So we had to walk up a very steep hill in order to get back to our resort. And that was it. So very quiet, just laid back day. We did the natural history tour. I did talk about that we were going to do it. And that was like a 5-hour tour. We stayed at the Denali Lodge by Princess, and they do shuttles regular basis, and they did a shuttle over to Denali National Park. The park services did actually pick us up right there at the hotel, and so from start to finish, we were with the park ranger that did the whole tour. They take you over to the park. You go into like a visitor building. If you have the natural parks for the U.S., the passport book, bring it with you. You can get a stamp there too, and we have pictures. So anyways, I digress. So back to the Denali Natural History Tour. So they take you there, you watch a small film. It's basically about how the park was started, what the concept was behind it. They're the only natural park too that has a dog sled team, and it's basically with them being in such a remote area. In the winters, they're just really not able to get vehicles in there, and they really needed the power of a dog sled team to get things done, and all the things that they were looking to accomplish at the park. So huge park, beautiful, and this was our opportunity to also see Mount Denali. Did we see Mount Denali? Well, 30% of people that come to Alaska to see Mount Denali leave seeing the mountain. And we were not part of that 30%. We were part of the 70%, unfortunately. So, kind of a bummer not to have seen Mount Denali, but we did see a lot of beauty. We thought we saw moose, and that was because some lady said, "Hey, moose!" and it was a caribou. So, got some cool pictures of a caribou. So, fortunately, I did have a good enough camera with a nice zoom on it that we were able to confirm that yes, it was a caribou and not a moose. So, we were there 5 hours. We got a talk from a native Alaskan Athabaskan. There we go. So he's an Athabaskan tribe. He gave us a lot of history again. And I talked about a couple days ago that we had also stopped at the Chaina village and met some people from the Athabaskan tribe too as well. So lots of culture, lots of history. It was very, very fascinating. Came back, it was like 3ish. We ended up having like a lunch dinner, and just got pizza at the local, I think at the Lynx, and so we had pizza all together, and Scott and I walked around and did some rock hunting. There's a river right there that runs along the backside of the lodge, so we went on a nice walk, probably over a mile, and then we came back and did a little bit more adventuring around the lodge, and then instead of a dinner, we ended up having these shakes that were really good, so little spoil, but enjoyable. And then we came back, packed up everything, and had it ready because we had to have the bags out this morning at 6 a.m. because they were going on the train as well as us.
Ferris Bueller, we gon' play that game. Driving into morning light. Let the world just pass us by. Get tattoos who knows we might. Just waste away the daylight.
Another cruise day, another Alaska vacation, a vlog video by Kathy. So today was a at-sea cruising day. We went and saw Hubbard Glacier, and that you don't get off anything. You just come up to Hubbard Glacier, and some of the people, it's not the captain, but somebody from I don't even know what to call it. Anyways, somebody from Princess Cruise comes on the speaker and gives a little background about Hubbard Glacier and how it was formed, how long it's been there. But it was beautiful. It's totally beautiful. There was an excursion that allowed you to get on board of these smaller boats that would take you much closer to Hubbard Glacier. We didn't do that. But you know what? I felt like we had binoculars, and we have our beautiful balcony, which is right here. And we sat outside on our balcony and had a beautiful view of Hubbard Glacier.
Sunday night tunes, turn it up and let it move you. Yeah, take the Forerunner to Mexico. I've been working on my Espanol. I said, driving into morning light. Let the world just pass us by. Guess tattoos who knows we might. Just waste away the daylight. No one on the 405. Let the world just pass us by. Catch a vibe who knows we might. Just waste away the day. You gotta pay that rent, it's stacking up. Gotta get to work, the weekend's done. When the world is calling you, don't pick up. I said, driving into morning light. Let the world just pass us by. Guess tattoos who knows we might. Just waste away the daylight. No one on the 405. Let the world just pass us by. Catch a vibe who knows we might. Just waste away the daylight.
Today was another at-sea day, and so it's been nice just to relax and be on the boat and not have anything really pressing to do, just relaxing after our land portion of the trip. So that's been good. We just took it really easy today, and we were cruising to see we were heading into Glacier Bay, which there's multiple glaciers in there, and you just travel through the whole bay, hoping to, one, you're going to see the glaciers, usually not an issue on seeing the glaciers, so you're going to see them. And it's not like when we were going to Mount Denali, and it's like, are you going to see Mount Denali? Like, you're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to see the glaciers, and a lot of wildlife in there too. It was exciting. Like, we saw orca whales, we saw some humpback whales in there, lots of otters and some seals. It's hard to tell the difference between the otters and seals, but tons of otters. And I'll really have to kind of just look at my pictures to get a better idea. But the orcas, like this morning, before we even really got to meet with the Glacier Bay Rangers and stuff, we had already spotted an orca come up and see its head. We saw the fin, and so that was so exciting. And then we do have, when we go, and bears, yes, Scott reminded me. I did not see any bears, but there was some spotting of bears. There are definitely people on the cruise ship that have some great pictures. I think Scott and his mom both saw a bear on the beach. And that's typically, if you are going through Glacier Bay, look for the beach areas. And that's typically where you're going to see mostly like brown bears. So hopefully we'll still have some other opportunities in there to see some additional. I'd love to see a bear. I think that would be so cool. I've given up that I'm ever going to see a moose. It's always been at the top of my list. Every time we go up to the Michigan UP, I'm like, how am I going to see a moose? And now I'm realizing how hard it is to spot moose. oh my God, we woke up in Skagway. We arrived at like 6 a.m. Our excursion actually crossed into Canada and then came back. So we actually had to go through like customs while we were there. So it was really important that we had our passport. So I'm glad that they reconfirmed multiple times to make sure we were on top of it. So anyways, we had breakfast, came back to our room, had enough time in there to do what we needed to do, have everything we needed, run back downstairs to one of the lounges where we met up with our group. And then Princess sent us to our water shuttle. We got onto a bus. And yeah, so anyway, so we got onto the motor coach and we had the bus driver, really informative, just giving us all sorts of information about what was going on in Skagway, all the sightseeing, pointing out all the sights to see, stopping off to the side of the road here and there, pointing out waterfalls, talking about glaciers, just all sorts of information about Skagway. So it just made it so much more fun. He was enjoyable. So his name was Seth. He has a twin brother too as well. Can't think of his name. Starts with a T. They both are 4 letters. Did you say what it is? No? Okay. All right. Forget. So anyways, so twin identical brothers. So if you're in Skagway, you get a chance for a tour with one of them, definitely do it. Seth was great. And our tour was the Klondike Suspension Bridge, a salmon bacon there, plus the drive and tour and everything like that. And it was for a bit, so it went from 8:30 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. Bake was different. Takes you into Liarsville, where during the whole gold rush, anybody that was part of the press, they were really kind of like telling everybody, come out to Skagway. This is where, you know, you're going to hit it rich. And there's so much gold here and everything like that. Well, Skagway really isn't where the gold rush was. And so a lot of people would come out, bring all their family out there, and then, you know, lose everything. So Scott and I decided we would stay and do some shopping, and just walked around downtown. It's very small. Lots of the same similar goes, like souvenir shop, jewelry shop, souvenir shop, jewelry shop, and then like maybe someplace to eat and snack. A lot of the same things, just like your typical touristy downtown cities that you see all over, and any tourist, attraction, site. Do some shopping. I think I said in there already, I picked up a t-shirt. I'm trying not to get too overboard on souvenirs because we were already pretty maxed out. Yeah, so anyway, so we did our shopping. Because Scott wasn't feeling good, I tried not to push it too much with him. And we went up and down quite a few streets in there too. So he was a trooper, and I appreciate that he pushed through and allowed me to do some shopping in there. But we were in Juneau for the day. And the day started off rainy, cold, unfortunately, and we had a whale watching excursion to do, plus a salmon bake. And so we headed off the ship. This time we didn't have to do the water shuttle, so we were able to just walk off the ship onto the pier, and there was a bus charter waiting for us when we got onto the pier. And that took us over. It was about a 25 to 30 minute drive, and this took us over to the whale excursion, whatever you want, whale watching excursion, where we boarded a smaller boat. The nice part about the boat was that we had options. You could go out when we were stopped looking for whales. You could go out onto the back deck, or you could just stay inside where it was covered, not super warm, but warm enough. At least you weren't getting wet, and spot whales that way. You could open up the windows on the vessel. So you had a good view and everything like that. People could move around. There were seats, but you could definitely move around and have a good visual. I was a diehard. I was determined. I brought my camera, had my phone, and I was determined that I was going to try to get the best pictures ever. So as soon as we would stop and they would open up the back deck, I would head out and try to get pictures. I had a list, and I left it inside the cabin where Scott's sleeping right now. So we're going to leave that there, so we leave him alone. But we did see a doll porpoise, which is supposed to be really rare to see that. What do they call it? Naturalist. The naturalist on board, she hadn't even seen one this season, so that's how rare it is. And what else did we see? Humpback whales. That's the main thing that you're expecting to see. So we saw quite a few of those. A sea lion, huge. We also saw some harbor seals and harbor otters. They're so cute. They're always the harbor otters. Usually are laying on their back with their paws up, looking adorable. Did I miss anything? Eagles. I mean, you're expecting more water animals and stuff like that. After we were done with that, there was a salmon bake. Because I teased, when in Alaska, there's no such thing as too much salmon. So we did another salmon bake, good variety of food. This one was a little bit better today. Salmon was really good. Scalloped potatoes, rice, cornbread, little dessert, drinks, coffee, tea, what have you. Some music in there. So it was good. So my mother-in-law and I just got off in downtown Juneau, and we were able to shop around. I got some cute things. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I got forget-me-nots. It's a flower here in Alaska, and I bought these really cute forget-me-not earrings, and I lost one already. I don't know how I lost one already, but I did. They were just French hooks, and it just slipped out of my ear. I think it was one of the days where I was wearing a hat, and I was trying to get my glasses on and off, and it was just too much around my ears. Incredible experience. Oh my God, Alaska has just been amazing. Not disappointing at all, one bit. Juneau's right up and, right up against the port. So the ships were right there. So we were able to just walk back on our own and walk back on the ship. And it was super easy, very easy to walk around if you're getting off of the ship, if you didn't do an excursion and your ship's there. So we went back to the ship. You had to be back to the ship at like 3:45, I believe. And then within an hour, we were leaving, departing from Juneau. We woke up this morning in Ketchikan. We actually came into port like towards 10 a.m. So we were still kind of cruising, but getting very close. So, but anyways, when I woke up and we were able to sleep in, we had nothing pressing. We knew we weren't coming into port until 10 a.m. today. And then our excursion wasn't even starting to closer to noon. So we were supposed to meet, I think about like 11:30 on the pier. And it was just a walk over for our excursion, which was the Lumberjack Show in Ketchikan, and then followed by an all-you-can-eat crab fest. Yeah. I went to the Lumberjack Show with my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. We had a good time. Show went good. Somebody in the audience had a medical emergency. Not exactly sure what happened. It looked like he was like passed out. So they had to bring in EMS. So there was a little pause to the show. Unfortunately, that kind of derailed, and some things in the show didn't happen. They handled it. The company handled it really well. You could. So after the show, they just walk you right next door, and they do the crab fest. That was my first time ever eating crab meat, cracking open crab legs, and all that process. I know I like seafood. I've had shrimp and lobster and plenty of fish, so I wasn't worried about that. I was like, I know I'm gonna like it. And it was good. I was just more like, oh, this is going to be messy and a lot of work. Yeah, it was. What else do we do? After that, we walked my father-in-law back to just like the ship pier or to the dock. And so he went back on the ship and just kind of rested. And then my mother-in-law and I walked around Ketchikan, went in, did some more of the tourist shopping and stuff. I bought myself a pair of earrings, so I think I'll do a video with all my loot and what did I buy, my souvenirs, all that fun stuff. So I'll show everybody what I bought because I have bought a few things, at least like about 4 things. I think a shirt, earrings. I ended up buying twice because I lost one of the earrings, which just makes me mad. But I did find them again, and I repurchased them because they're really cute. I was talking about, we went to this place called Creek Street, which used to be back in the day the red light district of Ketchikan, and they've turned it into these cute little shops now, and it's just cute little areas on like Creek Street, and they're up on like these stick buildings, right, or stilts. And it's right there on the water. It's really, really pretty, cute little buildings. They're all really colorful. So we walked up Creek Street, checked out the shopping there, and then that led into this thing called the Salmon Walk, which runs along the Ketchikan Creek. And it's spawning season for salmon, and the salmon run upstream in the Ketchikan Creek. So it was really cool to walk up this. It's actually a 1.5 mile loop, and I think we did majority of the loop. And they have this thing called a salmon ladder in there too, because there's actually waterfalls in the river, and the salmon are running upstream, as if that's not hard enough. And there's waterfalls in there too, and they have to try to get up over the waterfalls to get so they can lay their eggs and everything. And then unfortunately they die following that. And unfortunately, you can tell it's a lot of work for the salmon to have to do this and go upstream. And unfortunately, you do see a lot of salmon on the sides of the river that are dead and everything too. But it's just an incredible thing to learn about and see it actually in place and happening. And then in Ketchikan, they've even created these salmon ladders, which are off to the side of the waterfalls. And it's just kind of tiers it up like steps to make it easier for the salmon to get over the waterfalls too as well. Some of them are just determined, they're trying to get over the waterfalls, but some of them do deviate over to these ladders. And so you can actually see that happening too as well. And so we came at a perfect time to actually see that happening and watching the salmon going upriver. And so that was neat. And that was something we really didn't even know about. We just kind of walked and stumbled upon and then walked the salmon walk. And then after that, it was kind of getting close to time to all aboard for getting back on the Coral Princess. So we headed back and really just had a quiet evening today. And we'll be disembarking soon. So yeah, so tomorrow is just rest, relax, clean things up a little bit, pack up, and then the next morning we get into Vancouver like really early. And then I looked over the paperwork a little bit this morning on disembarking and what time our slot is, but it'll be fairly early, and then we'll be in Vancouver for a day. So more to come. So hope everybody's having a great day and enjoying my Alaska adventures and everything. So we have a couple more days and then I'll be wrapping it up. All right, take care. So today was, I think I had just started talking about, we woke up to rough seas and they were pretty rough. So you definitely felt the boat bouncing around, and that was something to get used to. We haven't had that the whole trip. It's been smooth sailing the whole time till today. And I don't really get motion sickness, but laying in bed definitely made it worse. So just not feeling, I don't know, I didn't feel nauseous, but I didn't feel comfortable with it. So got up. We also lost an hour, so we had to move the clocks ahead too as well. But we really just kept it easy.